Good morning, YouTube. So a little overcast. We got it sprinkled all day yesterday. So I would say we got a good bit of rain, which should pretty much secure October for us, where um, we will actually be cutting something. What last video? What was last video? Oh, I fasted for 36 hours, 38 hours, something like that while working. Yeah, I mean it's hard. Even 36 hours was a little bit hard for me. Towards the end, I it's just a headache that I can't get through, because my body will just constantly, like, I'll just get like a headache for a good like 3-4 hours, or even when I wake up, like I have like a slight headache. But again, that's your body. You got to fight your own body and kind of be mentally strong and have the willpower. So I mean, I just don't know how these guys that go fasting for 7+ days, or even more than 4 or 5 days do it. So it's not for the weak, but again, I do recommend it. I do feel better after fasting for that, because I just felt bloated. I felt like out of energy. I was just like, I don't know. The list goes on and on. So now I feel a little bit better. I might have to do it like once every week or once every other week. I still have to put some more thinking into it. But since the season is almost over for today, we can talk about my last numbers, or my numbers during for what was it, September. So even though we were in a drought for, what was it, like 5 to 6 weeks, we were in a drought here where I'm at, and pretty much we got like no rain whatsoever, and it was a little rough, but it is part of the business, and we still service most of my properties. I think I only skipped 2, and that was at my own discretion. When we pulled up, it was literally nothing to do, so I ended up skipping them. Excuse me. But even though I'm saying that to say this, even though we were on a drought, last week or last month was my biggest month up to date being in business. So I'll put a screenshot of it. I think on QuickBooks it's showing like 12,000. If I were to like add my cash, and I have a couple people that pay me in Cash App or Zelle, I should hit like 13.5. So that is the biggest one up to date. So I think in this video, I kind of want to talk about, I honestly think it's very realistic for like a solo man or a 2-man crew to be hitting $20,000 a month. I'm going to do some math and kind of like tell you guys my thinking, but let's get it. So we're out. I'm just pretty much waiting for Jacob. But pretty much the math that I came up with would be $80 clients. So if you have $80 clients, all you would need is 62, 63 clients. Now, the easy step to get this would be bi-weekly clients, but I really don't know who would be paying $80 a week. So for me, I would probably stick to bi-weekly, where I would probably try to make my new minimum $80. Will I? I don't know. I would have to kind of like see the property and see how big it is, how long it would take, and then kind of go from there. But pretty much you would have to do like 13 properties a day, Monday through Friday, and then have the weekend off in case it rains. Use those 2 days to recover or to get back on track. I believe if you try to do it to 4 days, it would be like 15 a day, which isn't, I think it's doable. Again, depending on the size of the yard and whatnot. But I honestly think it's very realistic. Because right now with the numbers that I'm doing, from 13,000 to 20,000 is a huge jump. But what I'm trying to say is that right now we're not really working Fridays, and Thursdays is typically a short day for us. So I do think it's very doable. Property number 2, grass is definitely starting to slow down. You can see it's starting to go dormant on some grasses. I think this one's pretty much like brownish yellowish because he doesn't fertilize it, but you can see the neighbors. That one's green. That's the one I just cut. And I was cutting at 3 3/4. So I am starting to lower my deck little by little. Pretty much getting ready for fall. And then spring, that first cut, you're going to scalp your yard. And then pretty much that will allow the new growth to come out a lot quicker. But yeah, just to put things into perspective, when I was a general manager at Nick and Norman's, I was making about like $1,200 a week. So in a month, that came out to $4,800. So right now, I'm pretty much almost doing triple, or the business, I guess, me referring to the business is doing triple of what I used to make when I was a GM working like 60 hours, 5 days a week. And then sometimes I'll get those calls saying like, hey man, you need to come in. So-and-so called off. So I would have to go on my days off, stay longer, work harder, so much more, I just like all that BS that comes when you're managing a company that essentially isn't yours. But that's why you get hired. So you can't really complain, or I guess I shouldn't complain. But yeah, I'm pretty much doing almost triple of what I used to make. And again, this doesn't, once you take into account like labor, expenses, taxes, obviously I don't keep all of it. But I mean, lawn care is where it's at, if you don't really have like the proper set skills, or if you're not really handy, it's really easy to learn. It's really just like reinvesting back into the business those first few years, and then kind of get to where I'm at. And I don't know, I think $20,000 a month as a dual with you and a helper is very realistic, especially, with that model that I did. For me, I think it'll probably take me like 2 more years to get there, because, all the stars have to align. Obviously, your pricing, then your route density. You can't be driving like 30 to 40 minutes for one property and then 30 to 40 minutes for the next property. So you have to go like bam, 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 and really get as much as you can, or try to land as many clients as you can in the same neighborhood for you to really get to that goal. So I honestly think probably the best method would be what my mentor is doing, and he goes weekly for the growing season, and then during winter he goes bi-weekly, and he's pretty much billing his clients per month like 300, I think 325 to 350 or 300 to 350. So each cut for the weekly, when he goes weekly, each cut comes out to like 70, I think like $70 or $75. And I honestly think that's the way to go, because with what I said, pretty much you would need like 130 clients or something like that, bi-weekly clients. So I mean, it's doable, but it's a lot of overhead. That's a lot of people you gotta keep track of. So I mean, either whatever comes first, I guess, but probably weekly is the way to go. I don't know. For me, I rarely get any weekly accounts, or we rarely get any weekly accounts. I would say like 90% of our accounts are all bi-weekly. So I would probably, I don't know, maybe go up, increase my price from like, the quotes that I'm charging 85, go up to like 100 to 125. But then it's like, will my clients approve that? Again, it's all about location. Like with like in this neighborhood, it's a nice area. I could get away with like 85 to like 110, maybe 125 per cut. But then there's other areas where I know they won't approve. So it comes down to location. And we are at 70 clients. So right now we're doing like 35 to 40 yards a week. So I mean, it would be like 50 more. That would be like 10 more each day, or like 5 more each day, I believe. I mean, it's doable. I think to have 130, 80 to 90, $95 accounts is very doable, where you're able to make $20,000 a month. Yeah, I mean, it's crazy money. I mean, obviously save for taxes, but you can start balling out when you're making that much money a month. And realistically, within the growing season for us, it's only like 8-9 months. Like you can easily rack in like over 100,000 in that short amount of time. For me personally, I might touch 100. I think I'll probably be like 10,000. If I were to guess, I'll probably be like 10,000 short. So I think I'll probably make like 90,000 this year. I'll probably, like last year, I'll make a video of how much I made and my expenses for this year once, winter comes and I have time to sit down and go over all my expenses. But if I were to guess, I think this year I'll make 90,000, depending on this year or this month, because it is the last like month that we'll be out, and then see how fall, like the fall cleanups come. We rarely don't get that many fall cleanups. Like, the only work that we get are from our regular customers, and then that's me that I implemented. Like, hey, we go over monthly, and and then that's how I'm able to stay in business, or we're able to stay in business, and I make it clear for them to, that's how my business works. And if not, then if they sign up, great. If not, then you can find someone else. But just last week, I think I signed up like 3 or 4 people. So I'm still signing up people, even though it's very late in the season. We're still picking up like one-time jobs. Like I said, last month was my busiest month so far. So I'm very optimistic about next year. I do think next year I should be able to hit like anywhere from like 11,000 being my minimum up to like 15,000, and then the year after that maybe 17 to 20,000. But I'm already thinking of coming up with a game plan of how I can like transition to that and make my life easier. And again, that's why I don't text my clients anymore. I bill them at the beginning of the month, and then those are just like a few minutes that I'll be saving myself, and in the long run, that's hours that I'll be saving myself while I'm doing this. But like always, like, subscribe. I appreciate y'all.